Today on the podcast, I want to tell you about a really interesting new project that essentially it's a new AWS service and it lets customers rent Nvidia GPUs for quick AI projects. Now, this is really interesting right now. Of course, we know that it is incredibly difficult to get your hands on these GPUs sometimes. And in addition to just being hard to get them, period, they're very expensive even if you can get them. And so I think this is a really interesting new service Amazon's going to get a lot of success on, where essentially they're able to rent out these GPUs to people. Now, before I tell you about that, I do want to tell you really quickly, you probably heard me talk about AI Box and how we've just launched a crowdfunding round for AI Box. This is essentially my no-code AI app builder and marketplace. I just wanted to say a big thank you to over 200 of you that have invested in AI Box. We're really excited about the future, and it makes me really excited. You know, the vision really was to help the community and people interested in being creators, developers, and users of the platform to have an opportunity to get, invested at the very beginning of AI Box. So I'm super excited to say we have over 200 people, and I think we're around $190,000 invested into the platform so far. So really excited. If you are interested in investing in AI Box, I will say there's a discounted valuation for the first $250,000. So we're getting close to the threshold, but there's a little bit left if you're interested in that. After that, it will go up to from an 8.5 to a $10 million valuation. So in any case, really excited with what's going on. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in checking out our crowdfunding page for that. But without further ado, let's get into the podcast. Welcome to the world's #1 AI podcast, AI Chat. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app, or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. So right now, amid a surge in demand for large language models and definitely the GPUs to power them, a lot of companies have faced challenges with resource availability and also cost effectiveness. So Nvidia's GPUs, considered pretty much the front runners in the space, are often expensive and in a limited supply. However, AWS is stepping up the challenge by introducing an innovative solution for its users. So just recently, AWS announced the launch of Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, or EC2, and this is their capacity blocks for ML, machine learning. So the new offering essentially allows customers to buy access to GPUs for a defined duration. So you're like, hey, I need it for like X amount of time. And this is tailored specifically for AI-centric tasks like training machine learning models or experimenting with pre-existing models. So Channy Yun, in a recent blog post, kind of talked about this whole new offering, saying, quote, "This is an innovative way to schedule GPU instances where you can reserve the number of instances you need for a future date or just the amount of time you require." So I think this is pretty much what potential users can expect from this. You get access to NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPU instances in cluster sizes ranging from 1 to 64, and each instance is coming equipped with 8 GPUs. So the option to reserve these GPU instances for up to 14 days, with reservations available in 1-day increments, and then bookings possible up to 8 weeks in advance. And then the other thing that you can expect is essentially the added convenience of automated shutdowns once the reserved time frame concludes. So you don't have to worry about, these things running or charging you once essentially your project is over. I think this is a really unique approach by AWS. It mirrors kind of the concept of booking like a hotel room, right? For a set number of days. And then customers get, clarity on how long their tasks are going to run, the number of GPUs utilized, and kind of the associated costs up front. This really, I think, kind of ensures transparency and also cost predictability, right? Like you're going to train something, you know exactly what you're going to spend. It's not like an accidental, you go over or whatnot. AWS really sees this as a win-win on their end. They can harness these, obviously very popular, sought-after resources it's kind of like an auction environment almost. It promises them a steady stream of revenue and then a contingent, of course, on users using this. But the pricing model, I think, is designed to be dynamic and reflecting real-time supply and demand. So, it's not like a specific amount. It's kind of this like auction where, whoever needs it the most, whoever's willing to pay the most, like that's who gets these. So one notable, I think, sort of user-friendly feature is the service's transparent pricing display. So upon choosing your desired time frame and resources, users can see the total cost instantly. So you can then adjust these parameters based on, your specific needs and budget before finalizing the purchase. And I think for those that are, ready to start exploring this new feature, it's now generally available in the AWS US East, the Ohio region. So people can go check that out and look at it. I think this is a great play by Amazon. Really interested to see what the uptake on this specific product offering is. But I think this is a great way to, for them not to just leave these H100s idle, which of course are very popular, and a great way for people to get access to them without actually having to buy these, which are very hard to get your hands on, and also very, very costly to buy them outright when you could just kind of rent them with AWS. Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.